The essence of the law, consummate righteousness. It should not be difficult now to judge what the aim of the law is. Its aim is perfect righteousness, so that the life of man may be conformed to God's purity as to a model. For our Lord has so portrayed his nature in the law that if anyone were to fulfill its commands, he would embody God's very image in his own life. This is how Moses summarizes God's commands when he seeks to remind Israel of them. What, O Israel, does God command you to do, but to fear him and to walk in his ways, to love him and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep his commandments? That was Moses' incessant theme whenever he wished to illustrate the purpose of the law. Such is the goal which the teaching of the law has in view. It seeks to join man through holiness of life to his God, and as Moses says in another place, to cause man to cleave to him. Now holiness is fulfilled in these 2 points: loving the Lord our God with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our strength, and also loving our neighbor as ourselves. Thus, the first point is that our soul should be wholly filled with love for God. From this follows love for our neighbor. That is what the Apostle understands when he writes that the aim of the commandments is love from a pure conscience and faith unfeigned. We see how a good conscience and faith, that is, in short, piety and the fear of God, are placed first as at the head, and from them love is then inferred. It would therefore be foolish to believe that the law taught only a few tiny rudiments of righteousness in order to bring men merely to a beginning instead of leading them on the perfect path, since no greater perfection could be desired than the one of which Moses and Paul speak. What else could someone possibly want who was not content with teaching meant to train and shape man in the fear of God, in the spiritual worship of his majesty, in obedience to his commands, in God's righteousness and in all his ways, and lastly, in purity of conscience, in sincerity of faith, and in love? So our earlier explanation of the law's commands is confirmed. They contain all that is necessary for piety and for love. Those who fix on one element or another of the law, as if it only half teaches God's will, quite misunderstand its purpose, as the Apostle says.